Hi, welcome to Copenhagen. Thanks for dropping in. Hope everybody is doing well. Today I am unbagging a diamond painting pen from GBFKE.com. So as I said, today's review is going to be a diamond painting pen from GBFKE.com. Now I have reviewed some diamond paintings from them, but I have never reviewed a diamond painting pen, so I'm quite curious to see what this one is like. They got in touch with me a few weeks ago and asked if I would be interested in doing another review. So I chose two diamond paintings. I have already done one, which was called Cactus. I'll put a link in the description if you haven't seen it and you want to have a look. Today I'm going to do the diamond painting pen, and at some point in the future I will do the second diamond painting. So if you want to see that one, please subscribe and hit the notification button. So I'll reach in the bag, have a feel around, found the diamond painting but I don't want that, I want this. So this is the diamond painting pen that I chose. It actually has real seashells in it. So I'll take it out the bag so we can have a proper look at it. So this is what we've got. So it's an acrylic pen, clear acrylic. It has blue glitter in it and some little dolphins that see them catching the light. I think it's dolphins, it looks like dolphins. And then we have some small seashells as well. So the pen comes with a multiplacer and a single placer. So this is the standard diamond painting pen tip. So if I compare it to the pink pen, you can see the tips are exactly the same, but the big difference is the width of the pen. Now, one of the reasons that people decide to go for a custom pen or something different from the standard pen is the fact that they are thicker. Some people find it uncomfortable to hold these thin ones. It's basically just a pink straw. There's nothing fancy about it. But people, especially people with arthritis and hand problems, can find it's a bit of a strain trying to hold something so narrow for a long period of time while they diamond paint. So they might start to look for something a bit thicker, makes it more comfortable. The other thing is the straws are a uniform diameter, so you're holding the same diameter all the time, which again can get uncomfortable over time. So people go for pens like this because it has a waist, so you can change the grip. That's the narrowest part there, still quite a bit thicker than the pink pen, but you could move your hand down to here, or you can move your hand slightly further up here. So you can get a break from holding exactly the same all the time. You can move a little bit. So the thing about the pens is it's an individual preference. Some people like thick pens, some people like thin pens, some people like light pens, some people like heavy pens. It's really a matter of trial and error, I think, to find out what suits you best. Other people get them because they like them, simple as that. Some people collect them, and I do have quite a few diamond painting pens, which I am starting to post up on Instagram if anybody is interested in seeing them. I'm doing one pen a day and numbering them, so we'll find out how many diamond painting pens I have. At the moment I have only posted number 1 and number 2. There are a lot to go, and I have a lot of different styles, different shapes, different materials. So if you're interested in seeing some different diamond painting pens, you can always follow me on Instagram at Diamond Painting Gym. So that's it. Nothing much else to say. It seems to be a uniform shape, so either end is the same thickness. I like how the light catches these. It's quite cool. But the big test is actually using it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up on the diamond painting that I'm working on at the moment. I'm going to load this up with pink wax and I'm going to give it a try. Okay, so now I've set up on the section that I'm working on just now on this particular diamond painting, and I'm going to give the pen a try. So the first thing that we need to do is actually load the pen up with pink wax. So as I said, there is a clear film over it. So we fold it back, put our finger behind it, get the pen and press basically into your finger, twist it, take it out, and you should get a hole. That hole means the wax is now in the tip of the pen. So what I do is once it's in, I press it with my thumb to push the wax in, and then I just wipe the top to get any excess pink wax off. So the next thing we need is a tray with our drills. And then what I do is just touch the drill. I don't press on it, I just touch, and that picks it up. You don't need to press. So then I need to find the proper square, and I'm trying to work around the camera, so it's a little bit more difficult than normal. So that's the first drill down, and then the next one. This section here, it's just that these are the squares. It's not that I'm doing a checkerboard or anything, it's just these three are diagonal. Once I get onto a section that has a bit more colour, I will start to do what they call the checkerboard pattern. In fact, I'll start it here. So that one goes there, this one can go here, and then I would put the next one up here, and here, and then I would go back and put in these two that are missing. So it's just here and here. So we don't have a proper checkerboard going yet. Now when you first put the wax in, I don't know if you can see it, but there is a little piece of wax starting to come out. So I would just wipe that off and throw it in the bin, because you don't want all these little excess pieces of pink wax going in between the drills on your picture. So you find that after you've placed 2 or 3, you'll see some wax around the edge. Just wipe it off. That happens because the wax on the end is flat and the drills are peaked, basically like a flat topped pyramid. So when you press in, it pushes the wax out the sides. So until that makes a little dome inside the pen tip, you'll get a little bit of excess coming out. So when you see it, just wipe it off. Once you've done that, maybe a couple of times, you don't need to do it anymore. The pen will just pick up without having that little extra bit. So again, I'm following the pattern. These are 2 shades of green here, so it's not all the same colour. So I'll see if I can get to a section. There is a section a bit further up where I can do a proper checkerboard, so I'll just fill this little piece in first. Again, this is for people who are new or thinking about diamond painting. You'll hear people talk about the checkerboard technique, and the idea is that you build up a little checkerboard so you miss every second drill. So you put one down, leave a space, one down, and it's actually easier to show than explain. Little piece of wax again. I always try and take them off as soon as I see them. So we'll start the checkerboard after this one. So starting to checkerboard now, so that one, then this one, then this one, and then we'll leave space, that one, go diagonally up from that one is there, and then we go along this row. So that one, leave a space, that one. You will find that the drills sort of move about a bit, they sort of twist a bit and things. It doesn't matter too much, but it's good if you can get them relatively straight. It makes the second part easier. Now that one I don't like. There's a little piece in the corner that's just sticking out a bit more than it should be, so I'll take that off. That's where tweezers come in handy, and that goes in the trash tray. You don't want any little pieces sticking out around the edges of the squares because it starts to push the squares beside it out of place. So always make sure that the edges are nice and clean, nice and straight. So hopefully it's beginning to get a checkerboard pattern now, and you can see what I mean. You place every second drill, and then you go up to the next row and do the same. And then you just keep working it like that. This is quite a small, narrow piece. Maybe thinking about it, I should have done the other green, but you'll still get the idea. You can see. Building up a little checkerboard pattern as I go up here. Now the reason for doing this is because it helps to keep the drills straight, because if we take these four here, there's a gap in the middle. When I place a drill in there, these four drills help to straighten that one up, because when you press it down, these will move slightly and everything will sit more square, rather than doing them one at a time and just going up. I find that if I do the checkerboard, they definitely turn out a lot straighter, because the other drills are helping to guide it. So the thing is, when you're placing the first pass, as I call it, try and be as accurate as you can be. Lining them up, what I do is when I'm putting the square down the drill, when I'm putting it in the square, I'm looking at the bottom left hand corner, and all I'm doing is trying to get that bottom left hand corner of the drill in the bottom left hand corner of the square, and that's it. I don't look at anything else. If there's any gaps, I don't look at them. I'll talk about that in a bit. In fact, I'll show you in a bit. So that's pretty much it. It's not a tiny little bit sort of sneaking off to the side here, but not really checkerboard, just a little piece. So there's a few random ones there, but I won't bother about that. I'll just see a drill here. I'm hoping this picks up. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. There's quite a big burr in this one, sticking out the left hand side. I wouldn't use it because it would push the drills away, so again that goes in the junk pile. So I have a tray that I put all the defective ones, so I don't pick them up again. Now you don't have to work up, you don't have to work the way that I was doing it line by line. Some people work diagonal, it doesn't matter, as long as you end up with this checkerboard pattern. So it's not quite the start of it, but we'll just get it started again. Once we get to the sections where we have 4 drills around, basically all you're doing is putting the drill in the gap. So the first pass, that one again is a little bit out. The first pass, you're trying to get them, or at least the way that I do it, I try and get them as straight as possible. Don't spend a lot of time on it though. Because if you get them relatively straight, it makes it easier when you do the second part. So basically when you're coming back, all you're doing is putting the drill in the gap, starting here. So you can see there's 4 drills around it, put that one in, and that's it. I'm not trying to line anything up, I just put it in. So this one's only got 3 sides. Again, that's all I'm doing is filling the gap. So when you get big areas of checkerboard, it's pretty easy. Maybe a little bit slower doing the first pass, but the second pass you're basically just filling in the gaps. And when you do that, it'll push any drills that are slightly squint. It'll push them into place, and you'll end up with usually pretty straight drills. You don't notice the effect until you've built up quite an area. But when I put that in, both of those drills moved slightly out, so it just pushes them into the right place. And this will do the same. And you can see now I'm not getting any pink wax because all the excess has come out, and I got that, so we don't have to go back with tweezers to pick pink wax out between the drills, which is quite annoying at times. So always keep an eye on that. So some people do it different. They do the little shapes, they do spirals, they do triangles, they do whatever, things just to break up the monotony. I really don't mind because, as I said, I'm sitting here with headphones on, I'm listening to music, and I find it very relaxing, so it doesn't bother me. I'm just getting these extras. Now, I was saying about the gaps. When I line them up, I go for that bottom left hand corner. Just make the bottom of the square of the drill go into the bottom square of the print. Now you will see there's gaps here. You can see gaps. That is because the light pad is on. If I switch the light pad off, you can't see them. And we are about less than a foot away from the diamond painting, which is a lot closer than you would be if you were actually viewing it. So again, if you look at this strip, it looks perfect. If I turn the light back on, you can see gaps. And when people start diamond painting, they can sometimes get a bit obsessed with these gaps, trying to get them exactly straight. Don't waste your time doing that. It really isn't worth it. You won't get them. You cannot make the drill bigger than it is. And if you start to try and push the drills all together, you end up taking them outside the box. If you do that, it's just not going to be lined up, and it will get more and more uneven. The main thing is the drill is inside the square. That is the main thing, because once you switch that light off, you won't see the gaps at all. So don't fret about the gaps. If you look at the gaps, that's another one with a bar. I'll take that back. If you look at the gaps with round drills, they are much bigger than the gaps with squares, but they tend to be uniform. So we see them even, like the gaps are even, so we don't really pay any attention to it. But when we look at this, and you can see there's gaps here but not just here, and it just looks wrong, don't fret about it. Switch your light pad off if you're using one, take a step back, and it'll look absolutely fine. So getting back to the pen, absolutely fine, no problem with it at all. I mean, it is a standard diamond painting pen tip. You get custom pens that are very expensive. It depends what they're made of. It depends how much effort someone put into making them. You get some that are a lot more complicated than this, but this is a nicely styled pen. I find it very comfortable. There's a good weight in it. Again, some people might like a light pen, some people like a heavy pen. I would say this is sort of middle-ish weight wise. Definitely heavier than wood, but acrylic always is. But I would say if you are having problems with your hands holding the thin straw, something like this would be a definite idea to give it a try. I can't remember the price, but I know they aren't that expensive. If you go to some custom diamond painting pen sites, they can be a lot more expensive than this. So something like this might be a good one for a first try a custom pen to see what you think. Then you'll get an idea. Do I like the heaviness? Obviously it's a lot heavier than the straw. Do I like the thickness? But I would say if you look for ones that have this sort of shape, this taper and then this bulge again, it gives you a lot more variety on where to move your hand, and really like it. So yeah, nice pen. I'll put a link to this pen, but if you do a search you will find that they have quite a few different styles, different colours. You might find something else that appeals to you more. I quite like the fact that it had these shells in it, makes it a bit unique. So yeah, very nice pen. So a very nice diamond painting pen from GBFKE.com. At a very nice price as well. They aren't too expensive. As I said, some of these custom pens can be pretty steep in price, but if you're someone who is just thinking about maybe getting something a bit thicker, because the pink pens are just a bit too thin for you, something like this would definitely be worth a try, I would think. As I said, the shape where you get that bulb and then the wasted part and then it thickens again, apart from looking good, it's more versatile when you're holding the pen. You can, if you start to feel that your hands are getting a bit cramped, you can move them to a different part and change the hold that you have in the pen, which can help a lot. So yeah, I mean, I like it. Definitely nothing wrong with it. Nice and smooth. It's not. It doesn't have little ridges or anything like that. I mean, it's decent quality. It has the standard diamond painting pen tip, which is actually quite good, because if the tip does get damaged and you have some spare pink pen tips or pink pens from other kits that you've got, because we get a pen in every kit we buy, if you keep at least the tips, you can use them as a replacement. So you can pull these ones out, push in a new one, and you're good to go again. The pen is fine, you don't have to throw it away. So yeah, I was quite impressed with that actually. Really wasn't sure what to expect from a budget site when it came to fancy pens, but yeah, it was nice. As I said, they have different styles as well, so I will put a link to this one if Seashells is your thing, but I will put a link just to the GBFKE website as well, and you can just search pens and see what they've got. They also have diamond paintings, cross stitch and paint by numbers, and other diamond painting accessories. So plenty to look at if you take a look at gbfke.com. So that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, as always, please subscribe and hit the notification button. If you do that, you will find out what the last diamond painting is in the bag. Apart from that, I have a lot more videos coming out. I have some stuff that I would say is pretty unusual, some stuff that maybe hasn't been reviewed yet. I haven't seen them, so if you're looking for something a bit different or more of the same, plenty of diamond paintings to review, please subscribe, hit the notification button, and you may even catch me live on YouTube Live. I do random YouTube lives just when I can fit them in, and I'm always happy to chat away to other diamond painters about diamond painting, the weather, the cost of living, whatever, anything. I live in Copenhagen now, Denmark. I originate from Scotland, as you can probably tell from the accent. But I find it interesting talking to people around the world and learning a little bit about where they live. So if you're interested in that, you may catch me on YouTube Live. Just remember to hit the notification button or you won't know that I'm on. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.